Posehn. I used to have a podcast where I played Dungeons and Dragons with a bunch of my friends. I missed it, so I decided to make a new one. It's called Brian Posehn's Nerd Poker. It's myself, a couple of my buddies, Blaine Patch, Dan Telfer, Ken Daly, an occasional guest or two, and we're going to be playing in a new setting, my dining room. Each week you'll hear my wife, my son, my dogs, and we're going to be playing in a place that I love and playing the game that I've loved half my life, Dungeons and Dragons. We've got 5th edition, and we're ready. So are you ready? Here's Brian Posehn's Nerd Poker. Hey everybody, it's Brian Posehn, and you're listening to episode 16 of Brian Posehn's Nerd Poker. Hey friends.
Hi you.
Hi there.
Ken.
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah.
Blaine.
It's 16. It's beautiful, and it's yours.
Episode 16, so we just finished 15 in real life. IRL, right?
Totes. BRB.
Wait, where you?
Where'd you go?
Ken just left.
Oh,
He's back.
Okay, I'm back.
He did say RB.
So,
BRB. The roast
what
beef
happened
sandwich.
in 15?
Wasn't she
There
Maud?
was, oh,
A fucked up whale spider.
yeah.
Yeah. So
we descended some stairs, and then we
some ladders
we found
and
a tunnel. We got to a throne room. We were checking out a throne room.
and you are not.
Some
You've been greeted in
fucking
the throne
asshole.
room by Bistel the Magnificent.
Yeah, and he's
Bistel.
talking about his father. He wants to defend his father, who we're
spider.
guessing is
Orca
Bariss, and everybody that Bariss creates calls him father. That's what I'm guessing.
And this guy just knocked back Bodhi, but you took some real healthy chunks out of him. And let's say you're still in combat.
I took 7 points, yeah. Oh, yeah. So who's up next?
Oh, and just for funsies, I'll also tell you, you have so far done 33 points of damage to this guy.
Good.
I think Ken's up, right?
Ken is up.
Oh.
Let's get right into it. Ken, you are across from him. And
Yes.
You just greased the floor.
Yes. Now I will.
Grease is the floor, is the floor.
It's a move, it's a feeling.
I will cast a ray of sickness upon him.
All right, he is going to roll against it.
Arby's Cadabra.
I will say Bistel has a penalty to his wisdom and intelligence rolling saving throws, so this will be interesting. Yeah, he fails that real good. So he starts...
8 and 5 points of poison damage.
So he turns to you as you shoot at him, and he takes it right in the face.
Right there he does.
Gets it right in his eyes, and he tries to jump at you as it hits him.
He's got greasy floor.
Exactly. So he's got to roll his dex. Let's say a difficulty of 13. He just barely gets out of the grease. But as he approaches you, he's going to roll another kind of save. And he fails that. He falls on his chin as the sickness hits his stomach, and he pukes dead fish all over you. So he lands right in front of you and just about a metric ton of dead fish and
Louisiana license plate.
and lobster casings all over you.
Ugh. Jesus.
Yep.
Blaine, you're up.
Last time I mixed some bourbon and Red Lobster.
Is that
how
after you
it
fucked
ended.
Beyonce?
Yeah.
So he failed the save, yeah?
Yeah.
That means he's poisoned until the end of my next turn.
Okay, so he's
Does
going
that
to take
mean
some
I
damage
give him
too.
damage each time? Yeah. Okay.
Can I
Yes.
shoot at an arrow at his.
May I shoot an arrow?
I'm sorry. May I shoot an
Please,
arrow?
Mother, may I shoot an arrow?
Please, mother, may I shoot an arrow at his eye?
Yes, you may.
14.
That will. What is your dex bonus?
My dex bonus is +5. I have an
Great.
18.
So then you do make you hit him right in the eyeball. Roll for damage.
What's an arrow?
The
Is it
eyeball that
D6 or
already got
D8?
hit, or the
Sorry.
different eyeball? The second
This is
eyeball.
his other eyeball. Yeah.
They've both been hit. I think,
Actually,
at
I'm
this
gonna
point.
the side of the room you're on. This is gonna be the same eyeball.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I'll just make sure it's popped.
Well,
fucking
if you do 5 more points of damage, this eyeball's toast.
I'm trying to think. Is there an arrow?
There, I can look it up.
1d6, I
Real
believe. Let's see.
Are they 1d6?
Yeah.
6.
Boom.
6'6".
You blind.
The
fucking
number of the eye.
of the beast.
Sex.
So
sex.
his eye goes and
Vomits fish all over Ken.
another couple of barracuda eyeballs splash across Ken's face. But you're up, Bodhi.
Should I roll his damage again, or?
No, he's gonna take the same damage every round from the
got it,
poison.
okay.
Is there any soft part on him?
Your
'Cause
best guess
you said his AC was high
as
on
a
the
trained
legs.
barbarian, you're looking at him and you're thinking he
Well,
looks a
cut his
little more
belly, right?
exoskeletal on the legs.
Oh, okay. So the body is probably softer.
You can fire your harpoon up in
thorax.
But he does look like he's got kind of like a spider fur all over his body, so you're not sure if there's more hard casing in there.
Where is he? He's on the
He's on the
fours?
table. He tried to jump the table to bite Ken's head off, and he tripped and puked all over Ken.
But is he on his back or is he?
He's on his stomach with his legs kind of
like my
flailing
prom.
around. He's trying to get back up, but one of his legs is badly wounded.
Okay, I'm gonna look
so.
for a soft spot and just stab.
All right, I'm gonna say because he is partially incapacitated, you can use an action. You can do a perception check just to try and find a soft spot. So why don't you roll a 20 with a difficulty of 12?
Roman flour.
What's your perception bonus?
Roll them.
No, just a 1, so 10.
So yeah, you just look at him and you're like, yep, his body somewhere probably. You feel like maybe you could get him between carapace parts, maybe like you can,
Okay,
but you're not 100% sure you found a soft spot.
okay. I'm gonna stab.
Go, please.
So that's a 16.
That'll do it. Again, his armor class is 17, but with your bonus here. Or is that with or without your bonus?
That was my bonus included.
Oh, well then, unfortunately,
Oh wait, but I did. I rolled an 11, and then it's my strength bonus, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
he has an
16.
AC of 17.
Okay, so no.
Yeah. You can't quite find purchase.
All right.
He rolls a 19 and gets back on his feet, and he is now straddling the table. He can't do an attack.
Are there torches on the wall?
Yes.
I forgot. And he's in Greece, right?
He's coated in grease.
All right. Well, I know what I'm going to do my next turn.
Ken, you're up.
You're gonna jerk off the Stockard Channing.
Takes
That's what I
another
did when I
round of
saw
poison
Grease.
damage at this point.
Sure. And that's it. Rain on your parade, but I'm going to shoot a firebolt at him.
Oh, go ahead. I don't need to kill him. I just want him dead.
Also, Didi Khan. Jerk off to Didi Khan.
Didi Khan.
1d10.
She's like 80 now, probably.
1d10.
Yeah, well, she wasn't always 80.
Go for it. He's gonna try a saving throw.
Jesus.
8.
He failed a saving throw.
She played Frenchie, right?
8 damage. Okay. And then I'm gonna roll to see if he catches on fire.
She was another stuff. But...
Your friend here, his stomach.
Is that like a Mortal Kombat noise?
But
Toasty!
yeah. The little head pops up, and the game developer yells "Toasty," the side of his head flickers, and it starts to light up. It's the side where he had his good eye, so he starts. And he's waving his head back and forth.
Fucking spider whale.
Blaine, you're up.
Take that.
Oh, I'm going to fly down, I guess, where his softest part of, like, his head, and just sort of sword him on it.
Go for it. Armor class 17, remember.
8.
Nope.
But I have a -2 strength.
That modifier does not help.
All right.
So your sword just kind of glances off of his head as he thrashes it around.
I'm gonna look to camera and go, next time I'm just gonna shoot him with another arrow. And
Bodhi,
then to everything turn.
right before you attack Bodhi, you notice Gago starts approaching. He's been hanging back, and he looks like he's
going on,
thinking
Gago?
about doing something.
What are you gonna do, Gago?
I was thinking I was gonna make this guy even more sick.
Okay, go ahead.
What now?
He's like, "You want to go first, bro?
Sure.
You go first, bro.
Okay.
I got a fun idea.
I'm gonna rage on him.
Go for it." Attack number 1.
No.
Attack number 2.
Fucking worse than that.
Well, so your greatsword just swings back and forth against his head and just kind of clang off of his armor. Gago.
Clang with my sword.
I thought you didn't like musicals.
Gago, on the
I
other
know
hand,
them. That's why I hate them.
Gago, as this thing
Worked in
reels
sketch
back.
comedy for 30 years, so
Oh, you call that a resume? Come on, whatever.
so we know.
What, were you an extra in Kids in the Hall? What are you even talking about? This thing reels back and screams because now his whole head is starting to catch on fire, though. And at this point, Gago flies inside of its mouth.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Gago.
Gago is a real asshole, you realize.
I like him.
You didn't used to. But
I know. I've
found
come
out
around.
that he actually can
He's
fight a
useful.
little bit.
He's useful because I thought now that he's on our side mostly. Still don't trust him as far as I can.
You
throw
didn't
him, but I
invite
can
him
throw
to
super
fight
far.
with you. Well, he didn't want to go underground, basically. So
Right.
when you took him underground, he chickened out. But now he's enjoying getting in some scraps. He all of a sudden starts gagging. The monster starts going, and you get the impression that perhaps Gago is trying to stab this thing in the uvula.
Nice.
This thing
No uvula.
attempts to
Monstro
focus. Oop. This thing, the new dice tower does not like the giant Wizards of the Coast 20-sided. And he's unable to regain focus as he continues to gag on the fairy in his throat.
I did that once.
We were just talking about Rod
That was 20 years ago.
Hey, Dan, you got any more setups?
Oh my goodness.
He blew me.
All right.
Good.
So you go to Paris, France.
Get $1 million.
All of a sudden, the door that this guy ripped off its hinges starts flooding with little wombats with human faces.
Yuck.
And about 20 of these things rush in the room. And they're all screaming this high-pitched, childlike scream.
Oh, God, it was like that time the busboys sang Happy Birthday to Me at Cheesecake Factory.
What do you guys want to do?
Was it the actual band, the Busboys, from 48 Hours?
It was Mars Day and most of the time.
20 of them have just entered the room.
The fuck?
I could tell they were a man of
Boys
mistake.
are back in town.
What are they? Are they little tiny things, or are they?
The boys are back in town. That's not as good as the.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. My fat
They're,
Lizzie.
They all are furry. There's no leathery ones.
Is that good? Was that good or bad?
Only I really know, Ken. But
Are
They're
they getting
this
grease
guy
and
dead,
fire
though?
on them? No, not yet.
He's
no,
howling
yeah.
and on fire, and he's gagging because Gago is stabbing him in the throat.
Right. And then how many of these little...
20.
Jesus Christ.
That's the sound that Bistel is making as his throat is being shredded. They all start swarming towards
Did he
you,
down a
Bodhi,
bunch of
'cause you're
soda?
closest
Okay.
to the door.
I don't care.
Do you ignore them?
No.
I think I need to cast.
I guess I'm turning my
You've all got to
attention on
turn to
them.
figure out what to do as these
Okay.
things start to form a cloud in Bodhi's direction.
Right.
They're all about the size of a chihuahua, but fat.
Like 20 fat chihuahuas.
20 fat chihuahuas with human faces.
Gross.
I'm going to start
And they're all
kicking
going,
and stabbing.
Kicking and stabbing.
Sweet.
Crying.
I'm moving on them.
Back at R2.
You think if you time it
Action,
right,
action.
you can hit maybe half of them at once.
Okay. I'm going to try to do that.
Here's what I want you to do.
That was almost, I don't know if that was Foster Brooks or.
I stumbled over
Cosby
one of the
or-
words and it made it sound weird.
I'm
but,
going to try to do that.
Roll to
going
attack
I'm going to try to
with
do
an
that.
armor class of
You're not
10.
Starman, are you?
I am learning to talk.
Roll to attack with armor class of 10, and then roll a 10 to see how many you hit.
Say it again.
Roll to attack an armor class of 10, and then
Okay.
roll a 10 to see how many you hit.
Okay. Oh man, I'm rolling shit tonight.
So that's one attack. You get one more.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay, so roll a 10 and see how many of these little fellas you hit.
Just one of
A 10-sided.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, roll damage.
What's
All
damage
these
on
guys
that?
are gonna
Oh,
five.
yeah.
You just rolled a 5, so 5 of these guys are about to take the same damage that you roll right
From
now.
my sword, so it's 2d6. 6 plus. Well, I'm not raging, so it's so 8. They each
So
take 8, right?
you basically cut 5 of these things in half,
Yay.
and the other 15 continue to scream as they run back out the door.
Bad idea. Bad idea.
And
Cool.
as these things are
Well, let's
cut
finish this
in
spider dick.
half on the floor,
Spider whale dick or whatever. Well, he's only got 4 legs, so, but
as they're cut in half on the floor, they all turn into wombats with wombat faces.
I'm
The
sorry?
human faces disappear as
Oh.
after they've been cut in half.
Oh, now I feel bad for him.
not really.
They're just wombats, just trying to make ends meet.
Just trying to make Wom's bat.
Working a shift. Bistel is dying.
Oh.
Yeah.
Should we just leave him alone?
Finish
Let
him.
him die?
Go for whoever wants to.
What if I shit in his blowhole?
He's on fire? You'd probably
Nah,
get
it's too
a
bad.
hemorrhoid.
Sit
That's
your
too
butt hair's on fire.
Yeah. All right, I'm not going to shit in his blowhole.
You could try.
But
He does present his blowhole to you.
so much.
then I will. If I can, I will.
What are you gonna say? I'm not gonna shit in his blood.
He weeps softly as your anus produces,
And I
my
say,
God.
good night to you, sir.
and he chokes quietly on your feces.
that didn't just happen.
I'm surprised you could. I'm surprised you could crimp one off while you were under so much stress.
Also, you
I mean, I
take
can't even do it if somebody
take
else. If
30
I'm in the stall and somebody comes in,
you
I
take
can't.
34 points in fire damage as you attempt to shit in his blowhole.
Do you snake the blowhole or blowhole?
No, if you just wait a turn, he dies. He just burns it and
Or
slumps
you
over.
could shit in his blowhole.
Yeah, we could all shit.
We all got the
Either or.
image.
Now, yeah, I mean, now you
Doesn't
don't
have to happen.
Where's the challenge in shitting in a dead thing's blowhole? Where's the fun? It's the thrill
As
of the
easy as
chase.
shitting in blowholes.
As he dies, you all feel a tingle as you reach level 5.
Oh.
So that's going to be fun.
I just have a medicated dandruff shampoo spell.
But someone else walks into the room.
Is it a man of distinction? A real
It is.
live wire?
A 7 foot
God.
tall man enters the room. He's wearing sort of bright metal armor, and he has long hair and a long beard and a big square jaw. And he says, "What have you done? Who are you?"
Well, I shit in your son's blowhole. For A.
Is the worst promposal ever.
Who are you?
I am the governor. What do you want? You've slain my children.
Yeah, well, they were shitty children.
What do you mean shitty? Where's your kids?
They were unpleasant.
I bet your kids are real bad at crayon drawings. Let's see them.
We're looking for. This is the guy, right? I mean,
Governor Bariss? Is it Governor Bariss?
He calls himself the governor because he governs the other vampires.
Got it.
oh, I see.
But he is the count of this area. He is the local royalty. He brags that he's given eternal life to these creatures
That's nice.
in an attempt for them to experience what's left of the universe.
You guys distract him while I run for my life.
Well, this is what we wanted. This is
Yeah.
the guy we were looking for. So,
Have you come to slay me, or do you have some other purpose? Or are you just murderers?
Purpose. Trying to restore the land to its former state.
I have murdered none today. How many have you murdered?
Well, counting the
that's
little
a good
wombats,
question.
it's like 6.
6?
Nah, some more. There was some we pushed over.
I mean,
A couple were manslaughter.
what time of the day is it right now?
Are you counting from noon or from midnight?
Time is eternal here. That is why I gift infinite life. There is no o'clock.
O'clock.
God, I hate this guy.
He pulls a sword out of his sheath, and you get a really weird vibe of this guy. You don't think he was a human before he was a vampire. There's something weird about this guy. He's got not like an elven quality, but like not normal.
Do we think we're outranked here? I mean, is he?
He's only 7 feet tall.
He's very tall. He's very broad shoulders. He's built like Dwayne Johnson.
I mean, he's got a
so he's
face on the back of his neck.
Oh, Dwayne The Rock Johnson or just regular Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson when he had the fanny pack and the fade. You know,
Nice.
18-year-old Dwayne Johnson.
Gago.
Yeah, he flies out of the thing's mouth. I had some real fun in there, man.
Good. Fly in this guy's mouth.
What's embarrassing about that?
He's like, oh shit, it's Count Bariss. Oh shit.
Go get his autograph. I don't want to sound stupid. I want to look like a fanboy.
What do we do, guys? I didn't expect him to just walk in. I
He
don't
didn't.
know.
He
I thought
didn't
we were
think
gonna.
much of us wanting to return
I thought we were gonna sneak up on him.
wanting to return the land to its
Well,
former
I think
state.
when his son ripped the door off the throne room, some attention was drawn.
Right. Okay. Anybody else in the room? He doesn't have anybody guarding him or any. He just walked in on his own.
After
Why did I come in here again? What the?
he sort of once a bunch of the wombat people ran out the door, he came in.
Okay.
Nobody kills his
Where is
wombat
he
people.
in the room? I mean, is he right?
So
Doorway.
yeah, he's in the doorway. He's right here. There's a big dead orca spider laying on the table,
Where's his blowhole?
pointed upwards towards heaven.
Well, Well, what do we say? For Glenishmore and just run at it? I think we're going to have a big fight here. I don't think he...
Well, why did he ask what our purpose is? That's why I'm saying,
You've come into my home. What is it you want?
We're here to bring the land back to its former splendor.
This land has fallen into darkness for some time.
Yeah, I know.
What would you do to make it better?
We're trying to get rid of the darkness.
Would you free me from my curse?
Sure. How do we do that?
Well, you'd have to slay the Demolith.
We thought we would at some point, but...
Do you...
Is the Demolith at work today, or is it home?
The Demolith has a castle in the western continent. It's guarded by another one of the vampires.
Do you want to be freed from your curse?
I didn't think such a thing was possible until someone broke into my home, slayed my children, and told me they wanted to bring light to this land.
Well, that's what we're all about, my friend. We are willing to help you if you want to work with us. Really high charisma. My charisma is huge. 18 plus 6 bonus.
His charisma is 19. 19. He walks up to the throne and sits on it, and he keeps holding his sword and stares at you. And he says, "Very well. I will help you slay the Demolith."
Let's do this.
Sorry about your creatures. We thought we were... Anyway.
He tells you some interesting stuff. Mm-hmm. He had sort of taken charge when the Demolith left the earthly plane, and he says that the Demolith struck a deal with Manon and McLear. Manon and McLear told this land and all of its inhabitants that he would spare it from the end of the world, but they would only have a limited time. And the Demolith said, if you allow me to bring infinite numbers of people here, my minions will grant them infinite life.
I love the minions.
And they will continue to enjoy your land. And reluctantly, Manon and McLear agreed. And so the Demolith struck a deal with Manon and McLear that basically slaves would continually be shipped to this land and provided to the vampires. And Barriss's deal is he thought all animals deserved sentience and to appreciate what was left of the universe. So he provided necromancy that allowed even the lesser creatures of Amina human consciousness.
Oh, and that's why they all had faces. And
Some of them more human consciousness than others. The ones with the heads of animals had lesser intelligence and merely part of a human consciousness. And he had to borrow the sentience of many humans, but he believes he's a good judge of character and knows which animals deserved their sentience more than humans. He also says many of these sentiences were borrowed from elves, which he despises, and he looks at you, Twee, and apologizes, but he has a long history.
Burned a whole shitload of elves.
He says he has a long history with the lunar elves in the lands just west of here that makes him disgusted.
Funny
well, I think
story
those are
about
the
that.
guys we just made mad.
I gotta be honest, the moon elves, those lunar elves, can suck my dick off.
He says things have changed a lot.
Yeah, my dick's gone.
Long before he was turned into a vampire some hundreds of years ago, he used to be a knight of good alignment. And he regrets many of his dark choices. These elves used to be evil, and since they have parted ways with their god, they have become less evil. So, he says, there's... it's up to you who you choose to side with, but if you have the strength and the interest in freeing this entire land, it's the first. He certainly has not heard anything so ambitious from those granola crunching pieces of shit off in the woods.
Yeah, don't get me started on those GMPOSs.
Flip flops are not shoes.
He says he's invited emissaries to discuss the future of Emina, and every time the meetings have broken down in bloodshed, and he has no interest in dealing with these elves anymore.
Well, perhaps in the future you can rule or at least reside in peace.
He thinks you're going to need an army to take the Demolith's castle. The Demolith's castle is in the swamp to the southwest, not far from the docks, actually, where you came in. But the swamp is guarded by monsters and undead army that he is unaware of the exact size. None of the other vampires, but the one who helps guard the Demolith, know exactly what is there because they're not allowed. The Demolith's assistant vampire would come to meetings at the other vampire castles. But
What's his name?
The HOA
What's that
Association?
vampire's name?
that vampire's name is Count Fenzen, and he lives in. Where can I see the map real quick?
Yeah.
I keep forgetting the name of this. It's the Marshes of Goldews, and Count Fenzen is very quiet, very. Deadpan dry. No one knows that much about Count Fenzen, but he's a sort of ambassador to the Demolith. He thinks there is hope for the armies. He says he has heard the elves to the southeast are more palatable. There is a small but less confrontational population of wood elves to the southeast. And just south of Misery's Finger, there are actually a small population of drow. And you can attempt to convert them to your side as well, though if you don't like evil, those drow are most certainly evil and will have to be bribed most likely to unite against.
We have gold.
He says he has gold too. He has never bothered with the drow, for they're on the other side of the mountains, and he has enough on his plate dealing with the lunar elves. But he thinks, with actual warriors who have some sort of skill, he might be able to convince the drow to have a battle of strength or something like that. They're a very proudful people. He also says there's an equally small population of only like 50 or so highborn elves in the mountains to the north, but he finds them a little disgusting, and he's not sure he wants to do it.
They're hoity-toity.
Let's go for the ones that we think.
Yeah, let's try to enlist an army.
Yeah.
He tells you also he doesn't think
The drows are. Yeah.
he thinks the odds of you converting another vampire are not good. There's not just Count Fenzen, but there's Count Dindal, a very egotistical vampire in the mountains to the northwest, and Count Zelor, whose castle is on an island to the northeast. And
Endor and Zelor.
Dindal, Zelor, and Fenzen are the other three surviving vampires, and he thinks
They're all just bad.
he says one thing he has going for him as a vampire is he has always lived in Emina. These others are travelers who have found their way here, but he was once a dwarf who lived here.
That's why he had all the dwarf books.
Yeah, but through necromancy, he has made himself of larger stature.
Well, that's a little self-hating.
Cool.
First of all, they're little people. Well, see, I had a feeling about this guy. All right, so
Kind of glad we didn't try to kill him and get murdered by him.
yeah, exactly.
I assumed you were going to try to kill him.
Man,
Or that he would kill you.
I had
Yeah.
such an
What
insane
was his
plan.
AC?
I'll use it on the next one. It's great.
His AC.
If it works, it's going to be spectacular.
That's high.
He was high. He had a very, very high AC.
Okay, well, that's good when he's fighting The shitheads.
He's wearing nice armor, so he has a natural 16 plus some armor. So yeah, he said, take your pick. He suggests there's the wood elves, the drow, or the highborn. The highborn will have more powerful spells, but are going to be the most prideful of the three. They're also likely to be of good alignment. That could be working for you. There are the drow, who are guaranteed to be evil, but are the second most prideful. They are the largest in number. And then there are the wood elves, who are chaotic good, but also small in number, but maybe the easiest to get on your side.
Convert. I fear the drow might be turned.
Okay.
And we'll lose them all, and they'll turn on us.
I think the high elves will sell us to someone.
Yeah. So let's go with the wood elves.
Yeah.
Wood elves? Wood elves?
Hair lips.
He says he will provide anything you need in the way of mounted steeds.
With human faces.
But yeah, he says
And he has a bit of an army himself, doesn't he?
he does.
Yeah.
He does. He says he only has a few requests if he is to loan you anything.
Okay.
One, there will be no more bloodshed amongst his children.
Yeah.
No problem.
He understands your mission required you to shed blood here today, and he has lost many children before, so he is willing to make a sacrifice in the name of change. But he he says that if there's any further bloodshed, he will dispose of any idea of hope that he sees in you. He says he wants something in return. He says, you have taken my finger today by robbing me of my children. I want something from you that you have not already stolen from my stores.
The fidget spinner. Give him the fidget spinner. This is amazing. Look at it go.
Hopefully, peace in the land will go some ways towards getting something from us, but we'll figure something out. And what's the name of the guy that left us? Our ally?
Oh, Lecus.
Lecus. We should see if Lecus is on board with this idea,
Yeah.
because it goes with his alignment, I think.
He says you could either. He says, "Where is this? Where is this Lecus?"
He took off. He was a little disappointed with our behavior, but but we're trying to do better.
Where did he take off? Where is he?
I don't know where he went. He left after the elf fire.
Elf fire.
Yeah, those elves you don't like, we kind of burn their territory.
I like you even more.
Yeah, I figured.
If he is with the elves, I am not interested in visiting those elves. I'll send a messenger, but I can't guarantee that Lecus will hear any message.
Okay.
You're welcome to go
Fair enough.
find him yourself, but I would like to send you some steeds and let us head to the southeast to talk to these wood elves.
Sure. Let's recruit.
So he's very wary of you, but he gets off his throne and he walks out into the courtyard. All of his subjects are just quivering messes. They're fucking terrified of you guys. There's a few of them wear capes, but mostly it's just human faces on little animals. It's just really fucking
God
gross.
damn it.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah.
Who rescued who?
Some giant katydid praying mantis looking things with human faces fly over the wall towards Count Bariss. They're 10 feet tall. They look horrible. The drawbridge comes down and they look like reindeer with stilt legs. They're not the same as the smaller deer that you encountered earlier. They look more grandiose. They've got giant antlers, but they're still dark gray. They have haunted looking eyes, and they're like 20 feet tall. And he tells you, I see one amongst you can fly. I think you should have no problem mounting these these beasts. They will carry you to the southeast in times much faster than your feet could carry you.
Yeah, with those legs. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, they got a big stride. All right. Let's ride on down.
I throw up on this thing while I'm on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got to get you cleaned up.
Oh, yeah, I'm covered in fish barf.
Gago thinks all of this is fucking hilarious, and he's just laughing and laughing. Bariss kind of grimaces at him. He's like, "What? You would bring this clown with you? What is this?"
Yeah, he's actually been pretty helpful.
He's all right. You'd be surprised.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
He helped us kill your kid.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
He goes, "What's that?"
Nothing.
Did
He helped us with some things we did, he said.
Great. So he reckons that within 3 days on these steeds, you'll most likely need to rest, for you do not have the eternal life that your steeds do.
heal.
But
Okay.
Heal up. Rest, heal, learn spells. I'd like to, while I'm resting, study this warlock dealio.
the cape?
I can
The
heal
warlock
us up,
spell
too.
that,
I've got
that he was showing me.
I got a cure wounds. I've got a song of rest.
I'm down 7.
Your cape allows you one extra action per encounter. Excellent. So you can pick a turn to spend an extra action. It can't be every turn,
Got it.
but once per encounter you can have one extra action. And this can be a combat action.
Cool. Awesome. So I'll wear the cape. And then can I study the warlock spell without learning it? Or is that learning it? To determine what the warlock spell he found.
You go over it and realize that it is a tome of dimensional door.
Okay.
So it does something very similar to what Twee's Cape of the Mountebank does.
Got it.
So you could, it would take you a long time to study because it's not your area, but you could eventually learn the same spell that Blaine has.
Okay. Got it. Interesting.
As you leave, Count Bariss tells you that these 3 steeds that you're borrowing are sentient. They will not speak. They can't speak the common tongue, but they will understand it as fluently as a humanoid creature would. So, if you need anything
talk
of
to
them, talk to them. They will only.
Run to Home Depot.
He says, "Yeah, they will react in the simple way you might expect a horse could if it understood English, but in no way will they attempt to communicate to you. They have simple needs and will only." Require modest sacrifices in the way of blood that you will not notice. They will not take it from you. They will take it from simple creatures of the forest.
Yeah.
They will basically graze from birds and such.
All right.
So while you rest, they will keep guard of whatever encampment you have. They will feast on small tree creatures and
Nice.
It's a deal.
yeah.
All right, let's go.
Cool. I'm gonna. I need to find my map really quick. Can we
wanna
take
take a
a
break?
mini break?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's take a mini break.
And we're back.
So in the little break we took, everyone started to hit level 5. I think maybe next episode we'll really make sure we've got it nailed down. But these guys have gotten themselves some extra hit points. Blaine, did you roll for that yet?
I did. I got myself an extra 7.
That's fantastic for you because you are the most squishy. But
Very squishy.
I got enough.
I rolled 5 and
what I love about you.
+2 with the modifier. There we go.
I got another 12.
and I said this during the break, but I'll say it again. Very surprised that you did not attack Count Bariss. You basically pledged you were going to for 3 episodes. He unsheathed
right.
his sword, and you were like,
Well, only because we didn't sneak up on him the way we did these other vamps, and I just felt like maybe it was we bit off a little more than we could chew.
I picked out a little
and
guy.
then we would have lost a guy.
Picked
maybe.
out a figurine for Count Bariss in case we
Well-
really got into the shit, so we could just have him like walk up to you and be like,
Well, he's going to get into the shit.
But now that we have like this other mission. I'm kind of glad I didn't kill him.
Yeah, he's gonna be very helpful. I think he's gonna be very.
I mean,
ally.
yeah.
Our only mission was we were just going to kill all these vampires. We didn't know what the end game of that was.
Yeah,
So
for the
now
first
we're doing it with the help of this guy, hoping that
we
time
learned
we-
earlier from
yeah.
Gago that Demolith was the ultimate bad guy, but now that we know where he is,
Examined the stick shift on the bulldozer and found another
Could
gear.
Gago told us where? Did Gago know where the Demolith was the whole time?
He had a feeling the Demolith was somewhere in the swamp, but because he doesn't have a physical form, he doesn't really even know. Like, he just thought the Demolith was everywhere. Like,
Right. Yeah, that's what he said.
And in a
to
way,
us.
he might
He
be,
always was vague about it.
he said that he tells you a little bit about the Demolith, and he says,
Who, Gago or,
Yeah.
or okay?
he says, all I really know that might be helpful for you guys is, like, Demolith's got something that ties him to the physical realm. He used to be a vampire, so it's a little different than like a typical like lick. He's not like a lick or lich or what? How do you pronounce that shit?
I think it's a lady.
He's not a typical one because he wasn't just like a wizard. He was like a vampire wizard. So like he's got something in that
Vampire
castle.
wizard.
Has to be a twist.
Something in that castle that ties him to the physical realm, but I don't know if he's in the castle so much as he's everywhere. The dude made a deal with, if it's true what Count Bariss said, and he literally made a deal with a god, like, I can't even tell you how powerful this fucker might be.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. Well, that's why we're taking an army.
Yeah.
So you guys have to kind of choose now. So you just are leaving Count Barriss's castle. You have to get down here if you want to recruit these elves. There is a mountain range that immediately divides your path. So you could try to cut through the mountain range, which might take a long time, be really dangerous, and it would still take you past Misery's Finger and the Drow
What does Barris think
encampment.
we should do with the with these his steeds?
What about him?
Well, what does Barris think his steeds can handle best? Or
He says they can take you through the mountains, but because they're literal mountains, you will encounter things that would want to live in dangerous mountains. You might find your path slowed because the steeds will still have to, like, even though their legs are built for mountain terrain, they'll have to weave between the mountains, and it won't be as the crow flies.
Okay.
The other way you can go,
Some crows.
he said you can go the way you came here also. You can follow the mountains along the Lunar Elven territory, and instead of going back to Count Amelegda's castle, cut southeast.
Let's do that.
You're not concerned about the lunar elves? It's become a hostile
Right.
Navajo territory or whatever, Apache territory.
Maybe we'll run into Lekis again.
Yeah.
We could tell the Lunar Elves that they're dark, so
They're not happy
Barris
with
doesn't
us.
trust them. What?
But they're not happy with us.
Right, no, I know that.
Yeah.
And they were already assholes
Right.
according to Barris.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of them. I'm not scared of them. I was way off mic. But
What do you think, Twee?
what do you think, Twee? High road or low road? High road is going to take a little bit longer and might run into some creatures we haven't run into before. Or low road takes us right into Lunar Elves.
Let's take the high road.
Through the mountains?
Yeah, why not? We
Great.
drove up the 5. Let's go back to 101.
Barris actually nods and says, in the end, that may be a wise choice just because he fucking hates those Lunar Elves so much.
I have a feeling
Is he
get
coming
it.
with us?
No, he's going to stay in his castle. He has repairs to do. He has children to bury.
Why? What?
I'm sorry.
What?
What? Did
and he's
something-
got some Airbnb people coming in at the end of the week. So
Something bad happened. Oh, did somebody kill? Oh,
As you're right about to leave, he mentions the other vampires wanted to meet in another week to discuss what had been going on. They first wanted after they discovered the remains of Count Dengal and Count Amalegda. They decided to retreat to their castles and fortify themselves against your possible attack. After a week had passed, they were going to meet again and discuss the future of Amina without some of their number anymore. So he says you have a few days before the other vampires want to come speak or send messengers to him. But after, he says he doesn't know he can deceive the other vampires. They have the same sire. The Demolith gave them all eternal life at some point or another, and they may be able to sense deception from him should he try to lie to them. So,
does that seem like maybe a good time for an ambush?
He raises an eyebrow and says, well, if your intention is to kill my brothers, then perhaps yes. Would you kill them in my castle?
Don't know when the meeting's happening.
It would be a few days. If you wanted to cancel your plans, you could stay in my castle until they send word. But I think we should play it casual and not try to rush things, or they might sense something is askew. He says that he thinks it would be very difficult for him to lie. They're deceitful by nature, all of them. And for him to try to send any kind of false message would be difficult. He has to play things as close to honest as possible and only withhold the most basic of information. He thinks he can lure them to his castle, but beyond that, once they're face to face, they will know something is going on.
Although something is going on no matter what. So they will either prepare for an attack at home, or we can somehow lessen their numbers ahead of time to try to weaken them.
Well, you've already lessened their numbers.
Sure.
There used to be 2 that you took out.
Yeah.
So.
And they want to meet about what now? How
to discuss the future now that 2 of the counts have been slain.
Got it.
And how many days? That was 3 or 4 days, but we had. Could we get down to these other elves and get back here? Or?
He thinks by the time you make it to the Wood Elves, 3 days will have passed, and you'll have 1 more day before he has to break some sort of news to his brothers.
God, I don't know what to do. Should we call it?
Yeah, I mean, we could take a couple of real life weeks for you guys to think about what to do, but it's not going to make it any easier. Yeah. I suggest right before we call it, we make a choice. Right. Are you going to try to plot out an ambush on these last 3 uncooperative vampires, or which, again, are very powerful when they're not asleep?
Right.
So how you'd have to think of how you would even coax them.
How are we going to fight 3 of them too?
When
we were scared of 1.
Exactly.
When we were scared of bears.
He throws you a few more bits of advice. He says Count Dengal, the one that you slayed in Amalegda's courtyard, the one who took a wolf form, was the weakest of all the vampires.
Oh, okay.
He was the one most prone to bloodlust, the one who killed the most often. All of them had been attempting to adapt to a more civilized age in the wake of the apocalypse, and were attempting to take on slaves that they would slowly drain of blood, create blood rituals with only semi-sentient.
And Dengal didn't go easy,
bags.
right?
No, Dengal did not go easy. You luckily got him in a sleeper hold and sort of tackled him.
We should just go to the Demolith, go to get these guys.
Enlist the army.
Yep.
He nods and says, yeah, he really does. He thinks what you decided a moment ago might have been best, to seek out the Wood Elves and take the path through the mountains.
All right, that's what we'll do. And then if those guys come and call our bluff and and figure us out or whatever. Then
He says when his brothers contact him, what he will attempt to do to stall is say his castle was attacked by you, but he survived, and he is not ready to meet because he is burying his children still.
All right, cool.
But he can't guarantee that they won't come looking for him and try to get more information.
All right, let's try that.
Great. So you guys head south through the mountains.
And if they do come, he can feel out if there's any possibility of them also turning against. Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, he says he is bound by blood to not murder his brothers.
Right.
He would be willing to betray them should it mean
Well, what I'm saying is
some sort of
hopefully
redemption,
they could also team up, but I don't think they will.
yeah, for some sweet beef jerky and Mountain Dew, he would betray them.
I get it.
You're the undead afterlife.
Get our Wood Elf army.
Cool, yeah. Let's go.
And we will discuss that adventure on our next episode.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Nerd Poker. You can follow us at patreon.com/nerdpoker, and you get bonus episodes from there. And you can also send us anything at P.O. Box 16069, Encino, California 91416. Thanks for listening.